say that it feels right.
What's up, YouTube? It is the Blender, and today I think we're gonna hit continue. I'm pretty sure we finished the skills grind. And what else we got? We got some crafting to do. We're waiting for the quantum tuner to come in. So I think it's crafting. We might start with that. Let's see. Got our stuff. Yeah, and we don't need 60 unless we go Sandevstan or Kresnikov here. So, in the event if we need that, we'll go there, and we don't need 60 here because we're not using Berserk. Yeah, so that should be all done. I don't think we need these because we're not using overclock or anything. That does mean that we need to fix our. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Our tree here. I had these two, and I believe I had this. Yep, I had that all done. And then I think I was waiting on some points, but I had all this. We definitely, I don't think we need this one. We want this one. These or whatever. We definitely want this. We could get this, but I don't think we need it because we're using Biomonitor. We have this one as well. Oh! Yeah, enemies whenever you activate operating system, cyber, berserk, Sandevstan, or overclock. So that, yeah. So we're not worried about this one because we're only using the other one. Oh yeah, we want Chrome Constitution. That's right. Ambidextrous, cyborg. This one. This one we can technically get rid of after the crafting. But I don't know what we would get. Next reload after neutralizing the enemy by a headshot or weak spot. I don't care about shooting grenades out of the air. This gives us speeds. That's about all we need there. This is all knife stuff. This is a dump stat. And back to body. Yeah, so I don't think we technically need to move this point. If you wanted to, you could, right? Like, so like if we're, if you wanted to use the Doom launcher in the build, you could put that there. If you wanted to use grenades, you'd probably have to drop some of this technical stuff and acquire whatever like pyromania grenade stuff you were looking at, but that's not the build we're going for. So, yeah, and then as for this, we'll go crafting because we're done with that, or because we're done with the skills, which means we kind of have to reveal what we're looking for. What I believe is going to be best is basically to follow the net gunner strategy, which is to just stack stealth damage, and we're going to utilize our optical camo repeatedly over and over and over again to sort of like make sure that we get to stay in there. Oh hey, those guys are doing their thing again. Okay. Cause let's see. Because you can get aim speed, but even on like these, right? You're getting carry capacity. You can get reload speed and aim speed, right? You can get what's this? Melee damage resistance, right? Bonus stealth damage. Now the bonus stealth damage, it looks like it's flat, right? Because like this 7.8 bonus stealth damage. I think that's flat. If that's a flat and applied to base, that's huge. If it's percentage, it can be huge, but it's not crazy good. Although it would technically be another multiplier, I believe, since it's situational. We don't have as much cyberware as we typically would because we have the wrong operating system on. We'll take our beefed up one. 427 is the maximum that we can get. Technically, it's one over the maximum we can get, so we'll only go to 426. But we duplicated one cyberware shard so that we would get 4s, or 2 cyberware shards, in order to make sure that we got to the maximum. What else do we got here? We got this guy. I think we can afford the Rara Avis. And then we had a universal booster on there. And then if we did that, do we have a quantum tuner already? We don't. We have to wait for it. I forget how much. I think it's like 45 points. So I don't think the quantum tuner would be able to fit in here naturally. Because we're at what? 375. Oh, that's 51. Maybe we could probably fit a quantum tuner in here and replace like self-ice or mechatronic core. Though this is kind of nice for those drones, and we don't expect to get hacked or anything. We had, I think, shock absorber. And I think we had micro generator on there, but we don't need it. Doesn't really do us any good. This is alright. This is probably better just in general because it'll do some of the similar things as this, right? Smart weapon and whatnot. But really it's just a stat stick. Now, when we look through here, you know, you're like aim speed, stealth damage, explosion damage. I'm just sort of like looking at like that. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, there is no ranged damage. There's melee damage, but there's no ranged damage. And it's not even broke out into like LMG damage or damage with LMGs or damage with heavies or damage with, reflex-based guns or anything like that, right? There's no sniper damage. There's no pistol damage. There's none of that. So, because there's not, I feel like the only way to increase that damage is to basically rely on optical camo and the bonus stealth damage, and then utilize going into optical camo on basically repeat over and over and over again in order to maximize out your gun damage, which unfortunately will probably be the same way you would play a net gunner, right? But obviously we won't have a cyber deck. So I think anything gun-based, like if it's strictly gun-based, you don't really have anything here that you would really push forward on. Maybe a Ying Long, right? You would want some electrical damage, but I don't the electrical damage would probably be good for the bonus since you can't push anything else. But ideally, you know, if you're utilizing Ying Long and an optical camo, you probably get more out of the static stealth damage, right? And in theory, you know, ideally maybe get stealth damage and electrical damage, and that'd be pretty sick. Headshot multiplier, maybe. I mean, if you're, I feel like that would be good, but it's more of a slower. That would be more of a slower playstyle. You could crank headshot multiplier, right, and on all the cyberware here, and get a ridiculous amount of extra damage there. However, I feel like that would just it's so situational. I don't think I'll mess with the Kuroshi Cockatrice optics at all. Even though that 7.8 bonus stealth damage is going to be pretty mid, it has the headshot multiplier, so I'd probably just keep this entirely. Bonus stealth, melee resistance, health regen, health, yep. Reload speed. Now, reload speed would be good, for sure. I don't know how well that'll work out, or that would work out with the thing, but or with the special reload of Johnny's pistol. But even so, we're likely swapping Johnny's pistol out for Pride after we do the rogue ending. Mitigation chance, damage over time, bonus stealth. This, oh yeah, this one's only got 2 because I bought it early. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize stealth damage, just in general, and that'll give us the ability to go into optical camo hopefully go into optical camo repeatedly to activate the bonus damage from stealth. And then that's going to be a lot of our gameplay anyway, though we will spend some time outside of stealth. However, because of the... Is it this one? This one. Damage bonuses from being undetected outside of combat persist for 3 seconds after entering combat. So all our damage bonuses that we have, right, when we go, which I believe is included in... Oh, damn, I hit the wrong button. Which I believe is included in this bonus stealth damage that's on here, right? So, like, I believe that would be included in that 3 seconds after. And so if we can utilize it and then come out of it and then utilize it again, and basically just cut, every time we basically crank our damage to the moon and then continue to hold our damage increase, and use that to sort of like gain more charges, right, for our optical camo, and then we have the quantum tuner, right? That might be a decent enough loop to not have to do that. Now, Smasher's just going to be a problem one way or the other, so we'll see how much damage we can do to Smasher in general. Like, I don't know if we would ever have the damage to sort of like phase him or skip phase him, right? Like, there's no world that I believe this ever comes competitive to the cyberdeck. What is it, like detonate grenade kill that I do in the overclock build, and there's absolutely no way it comes anywhere close to like the sub 8-second kill that you can get with Gorilla Fists. Maybe we try it, but since we're not cooking melee damage, right, in this setup, I don't know if we would be able to gate it. I might try it just to see if we can do it without melee damage. But obviously, if we do catch like stealth damage and melee damage, I wouldn't be upset. So like this axolotl that has melee damage and bonus stealth and aim speed, that's not getting replaced. Even though the bonus stealth is probably a little low on this, right? Because I think you can get upwards of 12, and I don't know what the bottom end of that is. But I think this is like a below mid on bonus stealth. It's sort of kind of like the generic, like you got stealth damage and this is like what the game gave you, right? Naturally. Typically those are middle of the road, right? Like this 3.9 melee, that's not 5, right? Because it could go to like, I think melee damage can go up to like 7.5, depending, 7.2, I think. Was the biggest one that I had on my, I might have had a 7.5. I know I had at least a 7.2. So it can go to like 7.2 to 7.5 depending. But So a 3.9, or which would be like what 7.8, right, divided by 2. So it's a little. It's not. It's half of basically what max value is, but that tier, that upper T1 tier, starts at 3. No, I think it starts at 5. And since this is 5, it's not going to go up at the 5 plus plus. So this is a low melee or lower melee, but it's not terrible, right? So like if that's the same thing with the bonus stealth, then maybe you could get 10 or 12, right? But this has just everything on it. So there's unlikely to be any such way that this gets replaced. Like if I got another one of these rolls, or even if it was higher stats, I would probably put it on something else I was going to use rather than replace this. So that's one thing. We have the Rara Avis. This is expensive. It's like 45 normally, right? It's 36 cyberware to wear it. So what is it? I think its competitor, the Parabellum, is 20. So you can save 16 cyberware there. And as you can see, it's only 54. The difference is 54 armor. Now, as everything sort of like levels up, this levels up, right? Everything sort of levels up and gets more armor. This becomes more and more effective because it's percentage based. But it also has the health attribute per point rather than armor attribute per point. Also, oh yeah. So we'll have to see because I'm also pretty sure this percentage armor will go up. The natural function of the Rara Avis, the 37% armor, I believe that'll go up a little bit. I think to 45. So this gets a little stronger at 5 plus plus. It will be a wee bit stronger than the Parabellum in general, but I would only swap that out if we are really hurting on cyberware points and can't find a way to like fit something in here. Likely gonna put in the quantum tuner here because we kind of have the best of the best. The only thing that I could see maybe we sort of like go, okay, we don't need the quantum tuner, is sort of doing the immovable force. We're not at the right ripper dock to be able to do it, but like putting an immovable force on here, right, which is I think 30 cyberware. It wouldn't take all of this, right? But then you get the mods that would behind cover mods will activate naturally just all the time, and without you being behind cover. So that can make some that does really good with this like negative recoil plus the negative recoil on that particular thing. In fact, why don't we just yeah, let's just go grab one. I guess we can talk to Alex too. Since we're here.
Attention, dog pound. This is Banks. Colonel.
Little is known about the bloody terrorist attack perpetrated recently by an unknown organization at Night City International and
okay.
Echoes of the bloodbath continue
Talking
unabated.
about the
Dozens
chances,
of
huh?
victims, chiefly orbital air staff, the paralysis of air and space travel, and losses going into billions of euro dollars. These are the sad results of this senseless act of aggression.
Familiar, this fucking jabber. It's war talk.
Today we
a
talk
wind
to
up.
Leslie Wawuda,
Old
Orbital Air
grunt cunt.
CEO.
Let's get through it.
Yes, Nightcorp. It must be said. To Nightcorp, the spaceport in Night City is a symbol of yet another failure in their space race against Orbital Air, the leader in orbital technology.
Couldn't be sure you'd
They
show.
would destroy us out of envy for our success. This attack was a few...
A lot of shit went down. Think I need a kindred soul to hash things out.
My luck's in then.
Good to see you too, Alex. In spite of it all.
So, here we are, facing complicated dilemmas.
Did you invite me here to debate the sorry state of the world?
NUS is rolling up its shit, breaking camp. My bags are packed too. Got one last assignment. Eliminate you.
So what?
Damn straight. Got a few months to live, right? So I'm content to wait. In-house contest, you see. Already chalked up a few accidents and dieds of natural causes. Peeps back at the firm will wilt with envy when I post a died after a long, grueling illness.
Here. Token I got. In case anyone doubts you followed orders.
Huh. Sure you don't want to...
Just
Gotta say, I'm curious. How'd it go down with Reed?
what do you know?
What would you say to a drink?
For the fall.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
To Johnny Silverhand. World's last true rocker boy. Live by...
Sure. Well?
Damn so... To read.
A man of honor, a How'd it go down?
Myers.
Blindly followed orders. Gave me no choice. I think... he saw death as a possibility.
Meaning,
Knew Myers well. Her sin...
did you like him?
I don't know.
Fuck. Well...
To all peeps...
Yoink.
What'll you do while you wait for me to flatline?
Gonna sit around being bored. Finally.
Good luck, Alex. Look after yourself.
You too. Remember, it's my job to kill you. Don't let anyone beat me to it.
So what? Monaco bound?
Close. Warm, sunny place, definitely.
Yeah, I agree, Johnny.
Come on.
Taylor got recruited by
Oh yeah, we were gonna grab a movable force.
Love what you done with the...
Ain't nothing without your help.
Attention, dog pound. This is bad.
Alright, alright, alright. Now we have to come back up here for the, so we can do the tattoos. If you haven't seen any of the crafting vids on the other builds, then I'll go through it. But we'll do it pretty quick. Alright, so the first things first is that these stats, I can't make this stay, but so it's the blue stats, right? Not the 6 points, not the tier 5 iconic, that's just your tier. 48 is the how much it costs in cyberware, the 6.5 cooldown, instantly for neutralizing an enemy. That's the effect. That's the permanent effect of the axolotl. And then the blue ones, the bonus stealth, melee damage, aim speed, those are the ones that we're rolling for. It is based off seed. It's predetermined. The game already has it predetermined as what each one will be. And what they will be is determined across all of these, right? Which is why the chipset ability here, Chip Connoisseur, gives you a third option, basically. So if seed 1, right, whenever you roll your piece of gear, you have the option to leave it the way it is. So that's seed 1, that's the one you're on. It will then show you the next seed, what it could become. And with this one, you get to see the third one, right? So you get to see seed number 2 and number 3. You then choose between 1, 2, or 3, and that burns all 3 of them, right? So if you choose to stay with seed 1, then it stays that way. So, for example, here, let's say I do the upgrade. I don't have to choose it, so that's why it's easy to show. And so as here, I've got stealth damage, ricochet, armor. This isn't bad, right? This isn't awful, right? This is aim speed, electrical damage, and ram regen. I don't need that. I would take this, right? Now, the thing about this is that if I escape out of this and I go to, say, my blood pump here, because let's say I'm like, okay, I've got aim speed on this one, so this one's not useless, whereas I've got quick hack damage over time, and carrying capacity here. This is useless to me, right? So I come here, I get the same in this option, right? Stealth damage, armor, ricochet damage. So these 3 seeds are fixed. Now, if I have a piece that is, say, lower tier, like this, right? I only have ricochet damage and melee damage, right? Now, the reason for this, as far as I can tell, is that those seeds still exist, but basically, like, the ones that are here, all right, this ricochet, this bonus stealth damage, and maybe even this armor can't roll that low, right? And you only get 2 from a white item. If I have a blue item here, and I put it on in place of that, and I go here, right? See how we have bonus ricochet damage and armor. But on the 3+, I don't think you can get this stealth damage, right? You can get, well, you can get stealth damage, but for some reason, the seed is just slightly off, right, in 3+. Now, if you go to this 4, right, put that on, you'll see that all of a sudden that's the exact same as the 5 and the 5+ and whatnot. So this, for whatever reason, white to green, you only get like, so the first tier white, you only get 1, then you'll get 2, so green is tier 2, right? That seems to be pretty similar, right? But can have completely different things because I don't think it can get some of the mods. And then the moment you have access to the rest of those mods, it fixes, right? And then for whatever reason, 3 seems to be some weird, I don't know, thing where it sort of like is partial seeded, but still, and I used to think it was because like, oh, you can't get certain mods, right? So like armor, ricochet damage, stealth damage, you can't get stealth damage at 3+, so that's not a thing. But obviously we had stealth damage on that particular item anyway, right? So on this one already, so you can get it at tier 3. So I don't know why that is, but for some reason tier 3 seed is just slightly different. Just slightly different. Like one piece of this, like we got 2 pieces and then we got some damage over time for whatever reason. So but when you once you get to 4 and 5 are identical, and then 3 is sort of its own monster, and then 1 and 2, I think there are some that you can't do it, so that they work off this like earlier seed. So what that basically just means is that it's sort of annoying to get what you want and what you want rolled. Sometimes, like if I'm going to use this and I have these lower ones, they like if I wanted to do a stealth melee build, right? If I wanted these stats, right? And these stats aren't bad, right? This stealth damage, armor, melee damage resistance. This would actually be pretty good pickup. This 6.6 bonus stealth damage will go up on the tier 4 or on the next tier. So like if I put this back on and we go ahead and upgrade it, then nothing changes, right? We're going to hold on to this. And all of these work this way, right? All of these values, right? So if you remember on the gloves or on the hands, we're like 1.5 bonus ricochet damage, right? But on the tier 3, that ricochet damage is like 1.1, right? So like that's what I mean by the whites and is sort of like a different seed, all on its own, right? So that's not a great example of these scaling. So I'll just show you this one. When it goes to 3+, nothing happens, right? It's just going to be the exact same. But when it goes to 4, now this goes to 7.2. Right? And so that's 6.6 to 7.2. It's a plus, 0.6 difference, right? And then it does that, and that'll do it again at 5. Now I'm gonna reload because I'm pretty sure I think I wanted that that thing, right? So like this goes 7.2. And boom, now we have a 7.8, right? So it went up by 0.6 each time. So you know, depending on where this rolls early, that might be worth it, right? So if you have some low level versions of your stuff, and what you saw us do is sort of like cycle that up. But if you look at this, right, like I said, this seed has changed repeatedly, like over and over and over again, right? This is no longer the this no longer has the stealth damage and the ricochet damage here, right? And so because that seed has rotated multiple times, and every time we chose this, we burned these other two seeds. Now, if we were like, okay, we want to go back and get that, we sort of have to load from before. So let's see if that's 6 minutes. There we go. We're back. Stealth damage, ricochet damage, and armor. This exactly. I feel like that stealth damage is low, but I may just be remembering it incorrectly. Regardless, that's the, that's let's say we want that one, right? So we would let's say we want that on our Gorilla Fist, right? Now the way I do this is I set this up. So RAM, aim speed, electrical damage, we don't care, right? So we're not going to keep it. We're going to go to this one. This goes to 5+, right? I'm okay with taking all of my pieces to 5+ with one of these bonuses that I'm looking for, even if it's like a mid-roll, like this 4.8, which is, I think, a low roll, but the armor is useful and the ricochet damage is useful. So this is what I would call useful/usable, right? And what this does, it just makes it so that when I go to 5++, I'm able to be significantly more picky, and I already have a baseline that I'm working off of, so I know sort of like where it's at and where I'm going to build to. And then, so we'll choose this one, and that gets us into the next seed, right? And then, obviously, we ideally want the quantum tuner. We gotta get that at some point. We should still have these things. That's good. And yeah, that's the whole kit and caboodle. Right? You continuously just roll these. You can check with whatever you want. This one says, oh, we don't want this. This has bonus stealth damage, damage res, and enemy vision. This is sort of good for stealth. So explosion damage, we don't, and damage over time, we don't need that. We'll take it here. It's semi-usable, right? Now we can use whatever, you can use whatever you want to check. Bonus stealth, explosion, crit chance against enemies affected by burn. Not particularly good, but a decently high bonus stealth. So all we're looking for is something that has 3 useless things, right? Or multiple useless things. This isn't bad. This is pretty defensive, but doesn't have stealth damage on it at all. This has health and health regen. That's sort of nice, because those are flat and percent. I'll take this one. And really, when I'm crafting, I'm only looking for one stat, right? This basically, you could go through and just go bonus stealth on all of these things, take what you get, and you'd probably be just fine. I'm going to look for something probably closer to over 8, maybe 10 on the bonus stealth for each piece at the 5++ level. So it'll be kind of picky. It's going to be multiple hours. It'll be like, I think on my melee build I had like 20 hours of crafting. However, I won't put you through that whole pain. I'm just going, now that you realize how we're doing it, right? Let's say, for example, we look at this one. This one has nothing we want. This one has nothing we want. And we go, okay, that's literally a 0 burger, right? We don't want any of that. We're going to take a tier 1 piece like this, right? And we'll just upgrade it, right? Instead, no, we don't want anything, so we upgrade this. We come back. We can then check again and go, oh look, we got bonus stealth with reload speed. That's not terrible. RAM regen, right? Let's say we stick with what we were doing before, and we say, okay, we're going to put that on here. We don't need explosion damage. There, bam. Now we have some bonus stealth damage. So you could craft this actually pretty easy if you're not being picky and just going for one stat. But we're going to continuously use the white one. We'll use a tier 5. Doesn't matter which one to check. There's bonus stealth, health, and health regen from defeating bleed. So if we're doing the same thing, that actually might be a little better. So these ones that don't have anything like this, that would be useless to put on. This one, we don't want to put it on there. Health, health regen, damage resist. Let's put it on these guys. There we go. Health, bonus, stealth. Like I said, we plan on being higher than that, well, at least on the one stat. So likely to get replaced, but not terrible. Well, we don't want to check with a tier 1. We check with a tier 5. Headshot, melee damage headshot, right? 2/2, etc. So this would be a burn. So we come over to the white one, and we go, we'll take this one, right, which then rotates that forward. We check again. Now we have different options: quick hack, thermal, explosion, etc., etc. And that's the whole gig, right? We're just going to continuously do this until we're out of mats. If we run out of mats, we're going to go farm more mats, and we're going to try and get as high a stealth or bonus stealth damage as we can on all of these pieces. And then once we have done that, I'll come back. I'll show you what basically what all we got. Like, here's bonus stealth and crit. That's nasty. Going right there. Now, likely to be replaced, but like for example on this one, I'll probably keep it, right, for the crit chance, and then replace it with like a brand new version of the heal on kill, right, and just be like, okay, throw a new one on there, so I have the option to use the one with crit, unless I get a better option. But that's it. That's the whole crafting process. I'll come back and show you what I've got at the end. And I just wanted to put in the where we finished on our stuff. This may not be the final version of it. We'll have to see how it runs after we test it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to run just fine, right? So we have the quantum tuner in. We did swap to the Kresnikov to get us down to the 425. We could do 427, although that would be just above the actual limit, which is 426. So if we wanted to, we could go with a mechatronic core instead, and that would take us to 427, which we have capacity for, but only because we glitched. So instead, we're going to run the Kresnikov boost system, even though it's not doing us anything other than its passive reflexes giving us crit. It's not giving us any benefit other than stat stick, which is pretty much the same thing as the mechatronic core, just giving us stat stick, although the 40% damage against drones, robots, mechs, turrets is nice, as it is a separate multiplier, but we'll see if we can do it without it. Shouldn't necessarily need it. And if we absolutely, have to have the mechatronic core here, we can always put that back and swap to something less down here. And like select a universal booster, we could pick up like spring joints or a kinetic frame, or sort of like pick your poison. It will impact your armor. With this system, we do get to like 1400 armor out of the 1500. You can, I believe you can get up higher, right? So like if you swapped out like maybe like I think you have to have the optical camo you would swap for like a defense Nikov. One of these you'd pick up like a defense Nikov and like a Kresnikov, right? I don't think you need the Kresnikov here. You could, right? But the defense Nikov here would probably finish you out to 1500, but 1400 is close enough. You're super tanky, even though you're never really super tanky in this game on very hard mode. We put everything basically like focused on bonus stealth. We did take some sub like 9, like we got as close to 10 as possible, but some of them where they had like multiple good stats, we took lower values. So like this one has weapon handling, headshot, and bonus stealth. So we took that as basically as a 3 stat that we want. We did have some melee damage, but it didn't really, like it just sort of like, it didn't come to a whole lot of fruition, right? Like overall character stats, I believe we only got to 20% on melee damage, so nothing super crazy. The bonus stealth damage, obviously, like I said, we took some triple stat stuff for like weapon handling and whatnot. If you really focus this and like min maxed it and got 12 on each piece, I think you're up over 200% bonus stealth damage, which can be pretty crazy. We have 54 passive crit chance, which is nice, and then almost 100% increased critical damage. This 54% crit chance does not include like anything like the 5% for being close. So if we are up in somebody's face, we get 5% more. Although we also have the deep field visual cyberware, so that's giving us some passive crit for being a distance apart. So if we're 10 meters away, we're getting another 10% crit. That crit goes to 64. It's just all around. It's probably going to be pretty strong, and we'll see how fast we can get it. But because of the Chrome compressor, we are able to use a metric ton of these things, and then we did throw the quantum tuner in there because one, we have the space, right? If we took this out and put like a mechatronic core and the self ice back in, then we have just so much, right? We could put an immovable force in here. So it's possible if you wanted to do like maybe like a tech pistol version of this. You could run something different, right, in your skill tree, right, that included intelligence, and your stats would be a whole lot different. But if you did, right, like, and you wanted to, or if you just wanted to run this with some like tech weapons, you could put like an immovable force instead of the shock absorber. Or if you wanted to just use like a power mod, I think there's a power gun too, like a Lexington 2 mod, the X mod 2 Lexington. You could use something like that and use the shock absorber and the immovable force. But to me, I think that's more in the like SMG and like light rifles or machine guns. Not the light machine guns, but the regular like assault rifles. That's sort of like in that build territory, so I didn't really want to go in there. But overall, we managed to keep the paint editor, kept the chitin, right? So we should be real tanky. We've got good health. We've got extra armor here. There's another one that can give you health. You can swap this in. It's 154 drop. Right, but that's also another place where you can get, 16 cyberware if you need to. But we just, because of the chrome compressor, we get to like go so crazy with the chrome. The quantum tuner is literally only going to be resetting and working against the optical camo. So with any luck, between quantum tuner, the way it works, right, building up its charges and whatnot, the axolotl, and the passive for the character skill progression here, where you get 15% in camo charge when you neutralize an enemy during focus, deadeye, or a thrown weapon, right? And I believe we will basically always be in deadeye because, like, hip shots. I don't believe hip shots cost us any stamina. We'll always deal full damage regardless of distance. Deadeye is active, guaranteed critical hits for headshots and weak spots. More stamina. This is stamina. Can't remember from focus mode. Oh, here. So it's run and gun. So like hip firing does not consume stamina, and so basically, as long as we don't ADS, right? When we do ADS, we'll get movement speed. But as long as we don't ADS, we're not draining our stamina. And if we're hip firing, then we're always never draining our stamina other than the shots. So as long as we're not spam shooting, right, we should be fine, right? Which means that while we're, we should be in deadeye as long as we're, and not our shots, because firing doesn't consume stamina. That's right. And so we're not consuming stamina regardless, right? And then here, as long as we're above 85% stamina, then we get increased headshot damage, increased weak spot damage, and no bullet spread. So we'll be able to do pretty solid work there. We'll get stamina back for hitting headshots or neutralizing by headshots. We'll get full damage, etc. So this should really marry up really well. And I believe the Malorian and everything that we are going to use is considered a power pistol, not necessarily a revolver. We may go grab the commander's hammer. So I think we'll go see if we have that. Let's actually see if we have it already. Comrade's hammer, we have that already, so we may grab that and make that, depending on how the runs go and whether or not we think we need it. And what else? We may go get the X mod stuff. That's possible. You could probably do the X mod 2 smart weapon gun, though I don't think it would be, like, you're obviously doing it in a bit of a nerf state, using it as on a like build like this. And yeah, because you don't have the intelligence specifically. So yeah, overall we got these pieces, right? This gives us crit. Everything's got like 7.5 or so on their stealth damage. I don't think anything's in the 6s. I think we got a couple 10s, couple 11s. I think we have one 12. I don't remember. Where did we put it? Oh, we had 11.2. Maybe we didn't have a 12. Yeah, maybe not a 12. But obviously I'll hover over all these, right, when we do a Don't Fear the Reaper run. But so now, the next thing is we have the Comrade's Hammer crafting, so I think the thing we have to do is progress a story? Or I think, did we already get to... Yeah, we already got to Embers. So we need to do Rogue Ending to get her pistol. And then once we've got her pistol, then we should basically have all the best pistols, weapons in the game. And then once we have those, then we should be able to move forward with the Don't Fear the Reaper runs and stuff like that, and perfecting that. So we will, I think, try to put both a base level, do the Rogue Ending, and then get that stuff, and then do the Don't Fear the base Don't Fear the Reaper run before in basically their own episodes, before putting together a full-on like attempt at getting speed running it and getting it down in time frame. So that'll be it for now. We'll take our nap, even though we don't need the experience, but maybe it'll help with those skills progressing to 60. And then, as always, I appreciate you for watching. I hope you enjoy the content, and if you did, then we will catch you in the next one.